to another edition of The Lamp. I'm Pat Munsey, publisher of the Kokomo Lantern, and with me today is Bob Stephenson, the Executive Director of the Howard County Literacy Coalition. Thank you so much for joining us today, Bob.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We're going to talk a little bit about your nonprofit, the Literacy Coalition, and we're going to talk about a special event that you have coming up in October. But for those of you who don't know what the Howard County Literacy Coalition does, let's have Bob explain that a little bit.
All right, well, we basically have three programs, Pat. The first thing we do, and the first thing we were brought into the community to do, was teach adults to read or improve their reading. As hard as that is for some of us to accept, about 16% of adults in Howard County read at the two lowest levels, which makes, doing things like reading instructions on a medicine bottle, road signs, things like that, makes that more difficult for them than it is for the rest of us. So, but a lot of people just have problems with reading comprehension,
Sure.
Or other really basic adult skills, spelling, basic math, some of those things. So we've started in Kokomo in 1988, addressing those problems, and the way we do it is we recruit volunteer tutors for each case, and we match them up, and they meet weekly, and they just work through it till the student achieves their goals.
Gotcha. And the goals are set by the student, not by the Literacy Coalition.
Right.
So when they come to you, they tell you, here's what I want to be better at, right?
Exactly. So, and we make sure we don't waste their time teaching them things they already know. So, in a traditional classroom, you're going to take a curriculum which you may or may not know. And if you know some of it, that would be time spent better doing something else.
Right.
And the other thing about a classroom, especially for many of the people that come to us, they may learn a little bit different than everybody else, or at a different pace. If you're in a classroom, that first week when you're introduced to a new concept and you think, oh, I got this, and then you go home and maybe not, you can come back the next week and you can ask the teacher, to explain it in a little more depth, and they'll do that for you. But if again you go home and it's still not clear to you,
Sure.
Sooner or later you just start getting left behind.
Gotcha. Right.
Or with an individual tutor, we can work on the same thing over and over till you get it. Yeah. Sure. So it's a really good way for adults to learn.
And we're not talking about, there's a misconception or a stigma that comes along with literacy that if you're illiterate, then you're stupid. But that's not at all the case. There are any number of reasons why you may have trouble with reading or writing.
Oh, absolutely. And there's no one fix that works for everybody.
Right.
So, but I've had people who, as children, saw like very traumatic events. I had one gentleman who saw his father get hit by a train.
Oh my.
And just shut down, and came to us when he was in his 20s and was really struggling, and we worked through that. I had one guy come to me, could not read at all. He was in his 50s. He had worked worked as a cook, worked as a dishwasher, worked those kind of jobs his whole life. When I talked to him about school, he said school was awful except the 4th grade. And I said, well, why was the 4th grade better? Well, I could read in the 4th grade. How could that be possible? What? His 4th grade teacher let him take an index card and use it under the line that he was reading. And what we found out was his eyes could not follow that line with a crutch. And I said, what happened in the 5th grade? Well, they wouldn't let me do that. So, and that was just luck that we hit on that right off. But in 2 years, he was reading probably a 4th or 5th grade level. So it wasn't a lack of intelligence, it was a physical problem that he had.
Sure, and you've got people with dyslexia.
Absolutely.
Which, for fault of their own, the words just don't sit still on the page. Yeah, so there are a lot of reasons why a person may not be able to read or read as well as they want to. And this isn't just for people who can't read at all.
No.
It's people that just want to improve their
Absolutely.
reading or their reading comprehension, right?
Yeah, most adults that come to us can read some. Now, their retention may not be well because they don't comprehend what they read as well. But those are all things that can be improved, and just take practice. It's like any other skill. The more you practice, the better you get. But
Right.
also, if you're not good at it, you get frustrated easy.
Sure.
So having someone there working with you, like a coach and a mentor and a cheerleader, really seems to work.
Right. And so the Literacy Coalition is a place with no judgment. You're not going to be embarrassed or humiliated by your skill or your lack thereof. This is a safe place where you can come and you can get the education that you've been in search of, and improve yourself and improve all kinds of life prospects as a result.
Absolutely.
The doors open very quickly for the literate. So that's one of the types of people that show up.
Right. We also help the immigrant community. We help people learn to speak English. I know throughout my lifetime I've heard people complain, why don't they speak English? Well, they have to learn, and they want to learn, but someone has to teach them. We do that with the same one-on-one volunteer instruction model. Many people are very literate. A lot of people come to us that have multiple degrees in their own country and skills, but just want to be more comfortable reading, or not reading, but just speaking. So
both, really.
Conversational English, though, is what we really emphasize with that group, because we want them to be comfortable to go to a restaurant and be able to order, to talk to people on the phone. It can be very isolating to be someplace where you don't speak the language. So we want them to help them assimilate into our culture. We help people study to take the citizenship test.
Okay.
But again, it's student driven. So they come and tell us what they want to learn, and then that's what we teach them.
So what languages are we able to teach from to English? So I assume that you have someone who can teach a Spanish-speaking person English. What other languages do you have on tap?
I mean, obviously, it's not too hard in Kokomo to find people that speak Spanish to help. But we've got people that speak lots of languages.
Sure.
And what we found is it's not necessary to know their language to be able to teach them to speak English.
Okay.
So we've had, at one time, we had 17 people from 5 continents, and they all spoke different languages. And we had them in one class together.
Okay.
And often they can speak multiple languages. So I had a guy come from Cameroon who could not speak English at all. But my guy from Poland could speak French, and French is the language of Cameroon.
Okay.
So we were able to work around that.
So really, the peers are helping to teach.
Yeah, and it's just really interesting, and it's really fulfilling because you get to see our country through other people's eyes. I was excited when I first started doing it because I thought, I'm going to learn about everybody else's country. And they wanted to talk about Kokomo.
Sure. They're here, they want to learn about here.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that was all their interest in. And oftentimes they would go on vacations for a weekend to places that I wouldn't consider a vacation spot. So I would say, what'd you do for the weekend? Well, we went to Angola. Why?
Right. To try out their English, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are here and they don't have family here maybe. So they have to figure out how to fill their time, and just something will catch their attention and
they go exploring.
They go looking, yeah. So it's neat to learn through their experiences more about our own country and our own culture.
And at the same time, they're becoming more proficient in English and more ingrained into our local society then.
Absolutely. I had a student in our building just this morning. She's Korean, and she's worried that they may have to go back to Korea. Her children are in Kokomo schools, and they don't want to go back. They love Kokomo. You know, they
I do too.
Yeah, I do too. But it's nice to hear somebody, you know, from a completely another continent, another culture, and those kids, you know, feel safe here, feel welcome here. It's just a feel-good thing. So if anybody out there thinks that would be something they would like to do, teach someone like that, I mean, you can change somebody's life in an hour or two a week.
Very good.
It's a great, it gives you a great feeling.
Sure. Now you said there's a third type of person that comes to the Literacy Coalition?
Yeah, we help people prepare to take tests.
Oh.
So the high school equivalency test, which used to be called the GED,
Sure.
we help people prepare for that. And that's another thing where they come in, we give them a test, we see just what they need to pass the test, and that's just exactly what we teach them. So whatever level they're at in math or English or social studies, you know, that's where we start. We just get them through the test. But also people will come in that want help on their written driver's test.
Okay.
People will come in who want help to prepare to take an employment test. I think Subaru tests a lot of people. We've helped several people get jobs there. So, but any kind of test, if you come in, I'll find somebody that can help and have some experience and help you get through that test. So
Wow, well, that's a really cool offering that I didn't know that the Literacy Coalition offered at all. I don't have a test-taking problem, but a lot of people do. I mean, the valedictorian in my high school class froze up whenever it came time to take a big test. I think she had to take the SAT several times before she finally got comfortable enough with it that she performed, obviously, excellently.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, test-taking anxiety is a real thing, and wanting to get those types of tests are really important in a person's life. So it's great that you guys offer that service as well.
It opens just immense doors to people.
And you do this free of charge?
This is free of charge.
For all of those services?
Absolutely. We do not charge students anything.
So how are you supported then if you're not taking any money in from your clientele?
Well, we're community supported. So, you know, we have donors in the community that give us money so we can continue to provide those services for free. And they also fund us at a level where we can provide books and material, you know, notebooks and pencils, whatever that student needs to succeed, we're gonna provide that if we can. So we've got computers that they can work on, you know, just about everything that you can think of, we try to do, and that's through community donations. And then we also do events to raise money.
And you've got one coming up?
I've got one coming up.
That's what we're here to talk about. Really, I mean, we're here to talk about all of it, but this is kind of here's the fruit at the end of the tree branch here. You've got a fundraiser coming up that's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's Dueling Daves is what we're calling it. And it's Dave the King Wilson versus Dave Dugan.
Versus.
Versus, yeah.
Okay.
So these are two comedians you may be familiar with from their time on the Bob and Tom show
Absolutely,
at Q95.
Yep.
And then we've got a special host, and I know he's a friend of yours, a friend of mine, Randy Maurer.
Sure.
Principal at Eastern, who's a funny
and
guy.
a funny guy, yeah. He's a very funny guy, yeah.
So he's going to host it for us, and we think it's going to be a great night, you know, for anybody that comes. It will help us raise money to provide all these services we've just talked about.
So it's a dueling comedy show.
It is.
Okay, and this is going to take place at Ryan Hall.
Ryan Hall.
And it's going to take what date?
It's October 18th. I had to look.
Yeah. So Saturday, October 18th at Ryan Hall, which is in the 500 block of North Union Street. If you've never been there, it's a really cool event venue. They have a lot of great things going on there, and comedy seems to be one of their carve-outs. There's a comedy contest going on right now there, and you're going to be coming in right at the end of that with your own comedy special.
Right.
So doors open at 7 for an 8 o'clock show. What are the ticket prices for this event?
These are $35 for the tickets.
Not bad at all. Okay.
No, it's a good price for. I mean, these are well-known
comedians.
traveling comedians.
Yes.
They perform all over the Midwest.
And they've been here before. They've been here in Kokomo, so if you've caught them before, you know how good they are. If you've listened to them on Q95, you know how good they are there. So a lot of fun, funny guys. Randy Moore, a funny guy. So an evening of laughs for a good cause. This is a fundraiser for the Literacy Coalition. So 100% of the proceeds are going to go right back into the services that we just talked about.
Absolutely.
So if you're interested in improving the literacy of your larger community, which lifts all ships, this is a perfect way to do it. If you want to volunteer, however, there are options for that as well, right?
Yes. You can just call our office. Our number is 765-450-8532. I remembered it.
Yeah, even though you don't call it yourself.
Yeah. I've got it on a sticky note on my computer. You know.
We all have to have those reminders at some point. So
But-
you can give a call and arrange to make time to interview for a volunteering position, right?
And we can use almost anybody that wants to volunteer, because whatever level you think you're at, we've got people at levels below that. So oftentimes, some of our students, as they progress, end up, tutoring somebody that's kind of following their same footsteps.
Kind of giving something back there. That's really cool. So, okay, Dueling Daves on October 18th. Tickets are available how?
Online, literacycoalition.com, and I think they're on our Facebook page as well.
All right, so 2 opportunities to sign up now, get your tickets early. It'll be a great evening for a great cause. So if you have any more information, or need any more information about the Literacy Coalition or this fundraiser, check them out on Facebook or at their website,
www.literacycoalition.com.
All right. Bob, thank you so much again for
thank you,
joining
Pat.
us today.
That
Thank
was
you
great.
all for joining us. I
Yes.
hope that you've learned a little bit. You got a little excited about literacy in our community. And if not, hey, get excited about something, right?
That's right.
So,
Life's better if you're excited.
right. So if you need a little more excitement, tune in for our next episode, which will be at some point in the future. But until then, please be good to each other.